Hey, Janine, it's you and me. You you made the start. Hello, it's just you and me. It's going to be you and me this evening. Oh no, look, Jeanette's just turned up. Hello, hi again. I'm late because I'm late because and I'm cold, which is why I'm wrapped up because I've been talking all evening. I've had calls, I've had my live, I've had calls, I've had lessons, student lessons, and I've just done a 2-hour 10-day challenge. So you're gonna have to help me through this live and tell me what we're doing. Hey, this is Garvin. Yay! Hello, Melanie. Shannon Shipper's here. Hi, everyone. Claire is here. Claire Collins. I'm glad you found me. I thought I'll just put a little link up because they not know I'm here. Meta's here. Hi. Carol's here. Morning from Canberra. Good morning. Susan Scheid's here. Hello from Germany. Stella's like, good morning. Oh, very, very busy. I have not stopped for about 5 hours so far. And that's not including all this morning and today's stuff. But yeah. Here again, Uta. Yeah, you can see I'm begging for I had my hair color today. You can see that. I'm begging for sympathy here. Here again, says Uta. Jenny says hi all. Gail says hi everyone. Rebecca's here. Hi Becky, hello my darling. Silver Lining says hello. Marianne's here. Hi. 2 helpings of hoof nerdiness today. That's a good Thursday. And for some people like Anita, who might join us in a bit, and the others that were on the call, they'll have 3 helpings of hoof nerdiness because I've just spent 2 full hours going through the trim with 4 lovely ladies who'd booked for their session this evening on the 10-day group session. What happens with the 10-day challenge? I'm a bit cold. What happens with the 10-day challenge is that when you get to day 10, you can book yourself a group session, and they happen every fortnight on a Thursday and a Saturday. You book one session, and it'll either be me or Gary or both of us sometimes, and we will walk you through the trim. We talk about tips with tools, the way to hold your tools. We talk about the hard sole plane. We talk about how to find balance, how to find also palmar balance. We go into the nitty gritty that we don't do live or go into live. So if you want to be part of that and you want 2 hours of me or Gary solidly, or sometimes both of us, then get on the challenges. And then once you've done that as well, folks, is sorry, I'm just sorting my collar out. It's a bit cold. Once you've done that, you also can send me private messages and I will look at your horse's hooves. And Gary too. Always the reason to get on the challenges. Karen's here. Hello from Sweden. Jeanette's waving. Ramona is here. Hello, everyone. Jennifer Nard is here. I'm here. 3 helpings. You see? What have we just been doing, Jennifer? Tell them what we've just been doing. Louise, stop it now. Stop it. You must be very unwell for you to be actually turning up at every live. What's wrong with you? There's something going wrong with Batman. Pierre, hello again. So Jennifer is going to tell us all what we've been doing in a minute. Hey, whatever you are refueling with, you need to share with us. Unstoppable Lady. It helps to be slightly neurodivergent. It helps to be just slightly single-minded. I am not going to fail you guys. I am a bit tired tonight, I guarantee, but you didn't get a live on Tuesday. You've had my little lives, but you didn't get. This is where it's funny really, because I do the mini lives and I'm like, I've got stuff I want to tell you. I've got stuff written down I want to talk to you about, and I want to get it through, and it's tup, boom. I haven't got a lot of time to chat. These lives, I feel like I can kick back and relax. Play with my microphone. I feel like I can just chill out. You guys can run this. You tell me what you want me to talk about. I've got nothing I've got written down to talk to you about. I am just going to sit here and you're just going to tell me what you want me to talk about. And you lead it. I'll fill in the gaps. You lead it. Kim's here. Hello, Kim. Hello from Revelstoke, BC. Haven't you just started the challenges? I think you have, haven't you? Yes. Good girl. How you liking it? Are you enjoying it? Tell me what you want to talk about. There's enough of you here now. Don't you all go shy and quiet on me now. You start typing. Tap, 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 tap. Tell me what it is you want me to talk about. Otherwise, I'm just going to sit here. Talk about my lovely phoenix picture, which I got from my students last year. And Gary got a Phoenix Way. Have you seen that close up? It's absolutely amazing. Shall I show it to you? Let me get it off the wall. I'll never be able to put it back on the wall. That's the trouble. Oh. I'll never be able to put it back now because it's just fallen off the wall. I have to do that later. Ooh. Look at that. Isn't that tremendous? Isn't that just beautiful? So that was created for us. It's an original. I've got mine and Gary's got his, and they're originals, and they were made for us, painted by I think it was the niece of Vanya, some very clever, talented person in France, I think. Right, you can go back up on the wall. Don't mind me. You all chat to yourselves. I'll see if I can put this back on the wall. Don't you mind me? Hang on a minute. Oh, nearly. Yes! How did I do that? Look at that. It's back on. Oh, it's not straight. There you go. Back again. Just chilling out. Have a little drink. See what you've put now. Oh, yeah. Yes, I have, says Kim, and I love them. Great. Don't worry about me. I'm just refueling. It's water. Tara, bars, please. Bar trimming in between trims. Did you not see my rocket science lesson on bars? Did you not get enough? I'll talk about that. Okay, remind me in a minute. Jennifer says, more on correctly finding more. You want more on correctly finding the HSP overgrown bars. Just all the little questions that I didn't understand before. Oh no, that's what we were talking about today. Yes, not what you want now. That's what we've just been talking about. We've just been talking about correctly finding the HSP, how you go about that. What are you looking for? Overgrown bars, all the little questions that Jennifer didn't understand before. That's what we do on a 10-day challenge when we do that really important group session. And it's lovely because so many people are going through the challenges that, and because we do it once a fortnight, well, twice a fortnight, because we do it on a Thursday and a Saturday for different time zones. You choose, obviously you choose the date and time in the future that suits you. We often have little groups. So today we had a little group of 4, and it's just so nice because sometimes they're bigger groups, but usually it's around about 3 or 4. And it's really nice because it's enough. We 2 hours we spent chatting this evening as I was going through it. And it's lovely hearing, excuse me, there's just scoff some food. Well, a bit of bread and a bit of cheese. It's maize bread, by the way. And yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, and 2 hours we spent, and it was fun. Kim says NPA and how to know if there is more toe to take. Shannon says, how do you tell without an x-ray if side bone is forming? Because when you can, well, you don't necessarily know unless you know that horse has been mediolaterally imbalanced and also palmally, but mediolaterally imbalanced for a long time, which is often easy to see when you are getting to that foot for the first time, because you can see that it has. But until side bone, you can't see it from the outside until it's well progressed, and it because the lateral cartilages are above the hoof capsule at the side of the pastern, and when it's properly progressed and it's properly out of the hoof capsule, you can then feel it, and you can see it. You can see the lump, so you can't tell unless you have an X-ray, unless it's very well progressed. Janine says, I've signed up for Gawsworth. Yay, not to. Oh God, don't blame me. Don't blame me if there's arguments. I'm not getting involved. I many a time I have had to chat to the other half and explain what we've been talking about. Please don't blame that on me. But I can't wait to meet you, Janine. I look forward to it. Jennifer says, finding true heels. Are you saying that that's what we were looking for, or that's what you'd want to know? Marion says, I was just curious if the point of the frog on a wild hoof is tapered towards the sole. Is there a reason why TPW doesn't follow that? It is. We do. What makes you think we don't? It is. So when you're rasping a horse's foot, maybe talk about it this way, you're bringing everything down to the hard sole plane. Oftentimes you'll end up rasping the back end of the frog, but not necessarily the front end, because it sits further down in the bowl. Some horses like a lot of frog pressure, but many don't. And so some horses it builds up a little bit more, some horses it doesn't. But if you trim to the horse's natural constants, gradually that horse's foot will put everything where it needs to be, because it's not always trying to second guess you as the trimmer or whoever is the trimmer. The poor horse's foot has to lag behind the trimmer because it has to grow to compensate for anything that the trimmer did. And especially if they've come to take the toe off and they've just chopped off 6 months worth of growth, which is just what you can do that in 4 rasps, in 4 good decent rasps, or from the top you can take off 6 months worth of growth. 6 months. 3 months is common, but you can take off 6. But so it's getting that horse's foot to not be chasing us all the time and trying to counter all the unbalanced hoof care that we're doing. If once the horse's foot settles down and it's not chasing us all the time and going, oh, I've just had my toe removed, that's a trauma response that I'm going to have to put out a callus. You know, everybody goes, yeah, callus. No, I mean, yeah, great, it's there. You have to leave it there until toe wall comes back. Could be months now, after all the months of toe lovely work that horse was doing, getting its toe wall down to the ground, and you just whopped it off. So in a long-winded way of answering your question, Marianne, it usually should be down in the bowl, the apex of the frog, the point of the frog. But it takes time for the horse's foot to get to the place it needs to be. Joe's here, says, oh, hello team, see you soon in New Zealand, bit excited. Yes, well, Gary's not here today. Now, I do have to tell you, and this might be a little bit of a disappointment, that Mr. Hinton is not traveling to New Zealand and Australia. So, yeah, he's not coming, because somebody has to stay at home and make sure all our 60-odd students and pros are well looked after, while I gallivant around the other side of the world teaching people. It'll be me and Asha and Tim is who you'll see. So you're not going to get the opportunity to wrap your arms around Mr. Hinton and give him a wonderful big hug this time. but you never know, you might do next time. You're going to have to make do with me. And I hope I'm good enough for you. I hope that it'll be good enough that it'll be me. Thorax gargoyle, welcome. I'll shake your hand. I've never seen you before. I'm pretty sure I would remember that. Howdy. Nice to meet you. Jeanette says, different ways of holding feet. I'm crap at putting between my legs and cradling in lap to use both hands. What was I just saying to you lot in the group at the very beginning? We were just talking about this at the beginning of the 10-day session, that when I was first, I'd been trimming for a few years when I met Jamie Jackson. And when I met him, I had 2 wrist supports on. This is 15 years ago. And I had 2 wrist supports on. And he was like, you're a one-handed trimmer, aren't you? And I was like, might be. He said, well, I can see you are, because your wrists are knackered or getting knackered. And I said, yeah, but I can't do it. I'm crap at, I said exactly that. I'm crap at putting the horse's leg between my legs. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. I can't do it. I'm useless at it. I can't do it. It's a technique. It's a skill. And you've also got to have horse cooperation. All of that is a skill. There aren't so many different ways. Until I started relying on my legs to actually help me during the trim, these were always going to be at risk. And once I finally worked out that my legs are very, very useful at helping me trim, because they can hold a foot when I can do it with 2 hands. Until I worked that out, I had painful wrists, and then everything sorted themselves out. My back, my legs, everything worked together. And your back shouldn't be taking any strain whatsoever. So it's technique. It's not something we can easily teach you, sadly, through the challenges. You kind of have to do that one in person. But even in person, it's not so easy. So we took, oh, I got a bit of fluff on the bottom of there, haven't I? It's something that you teach. Even at the training camp, it takes time to teach it. Don't beat yourself up because you can't do it. You can use a cradle on a a stand, but on front feet, it's not going to work very well. Horses don't like to just rest their front feet up in the air like that. They're all right with it between your legs, but so practice makes perfect. That's what you have to do. You have to practice, or you just have to cope doing it the way that you're doing it. Sorry, there's no really good answer to that. Jenny Ackerstrom says, how to avoid getting gaps in the layers in the frog. When looking from the back of the hoof towards the toe, deep pockets getting filled with mud. The more you trim the foot correctly to the HSP, the healthier that frog will get. If you leave too much heel, the frog will not get the contact that it needs. And some horses need more than others. That means the frog isn't as healthy. That means the frog will get pits in it. That means that the frog will start to get a bit funky in places. So in order to get a healthy frog and have no gaps, you need to make sure your heels are balanced and down to the right spot. And then the frog will improve. And, of course, get the diet and the management right. What did you ask earlier? What did you ask you wanted me to do? Oh, bars. Yeah, bars. And what was the other thing that Shannon said? Oh, yeah, we've done that one. What else did you say? Tara says, I watched it and I don't touch them between trims, but one owner I trim for does, and I don't feel like they shouldn't be touched. Okay. So I can't really draw this. I'm just thinking if I could draw it on my Canva. I don't know if I can. Right. Let's go from a position of a healthy foot. A healthy, balanced foot that's not been messed around with. It's not had its balance messed around with. It's happy. It's healthy. P3 is in the right position. It's been good because it's been trimmed by you, Tara, basically. Right? It's healthy. It's good. All's well. You come along and you trim the excess that Amira has just been growing for 6 weeks. And there's a bit of bar, and there's a bit of wall, and there's a bit of heel, and there's a bit of toe to balance to. All of that needs tweaking because she hasn't been able to wear it off because she's just not moving that much like her cousins in the Great Basin. So she's got a bit of growth. You take it down to exactly where it needs to be. She's got no compaction. She's grand. Off she goes. Beautiful. Marvellous. Didn't feel a thing. Lovely. Still the same balance. She's not gone from God, this is P3, by the way. She's not gone from that to sideways. She's not done any of that. She's just gone. We've gone whoop, whoop, and brought the balance back. Oh, just remove the excess. She's not changed in balance. You've done such a fantastic job that in 6 weeks' time, her bars are not hugely overgrown. There's a little bit there. There's a little bit of wall. There's a little bit. Right. Now, it's not a mirror now. Now we're talking about a horse that has been messed around with, has not been trimmed down to the hard sole plane, and has got compaction in the back of the foot. You come down to what you feel is the hard sole plane, which you're going to get better and better at spotting in terms of where you need to go, because you're going to have to go through that compaction a lot of the time. But let's just say you got it down to compaction level and everything's down to the hard sole plane. That horse and you think you've got the bars, that horse then goes out and marches around a bit, and now it's got a new area of foot actually in contact with the ground, which is a compacted area, at which point it goes, whoo, I don't think I need that, and it starts to exfoliate. In just a couple of weeks or 3 weeks, you go and look at that foot and your eyes nearly pop out on stalks because you go, where did those bars just come from? They weren't there 3 weeks ago. What the hell has just happened? Well, what happened was that the sole just gave way and the bar didn't, because the bar can't like the sole can. And you've suddenly got a ton of bar. And now you've got to address that bar. And you better not leave it to 6 weeks. Well, you can. But when you get to 6 weeks, you're like, oh my God, there's like so much bar in the bottom of the horse's foot. It's massive. But you come along, Tara, and you go, it's okay. Chill out. All that horse is doing is just exfoliating a bit of sole. Chill. It's all good. It was compacted before. It's getting rid of it. Now the bar is showing itself more because it's got rid of that area. So now we take the bar back to where we have it now. And it'll take 2 or 3 trims for that to stabilize. The better you get, the quicker it stabilizes in terms of getting the compaction out. You don't carve it out. You come down, usually just with a rasp. And the more that foot will stabilize. Once the foot's stabilized, you leave it alone. If the foot is getting to the point of stabilizing, then, and that owner's getting in there and removing some bar that's excess, as long as they know how to do it and they're not digging too far, then that's okay. But unless I'd given that owner specific instructions to touch the foot was madmen, unless I told them they could. That was usually when my relationship with that owner had gone on for quite some time. No. I trim the horse's foot. Don't you dare touch it unless I say so. If you think that horse's foot shouldn't be touched, tell the owner. You're in charge. Sandra Randall says, hello. Hello, darling. Fiona Francis is here. Made it. Hi, all. Marianne says, thank you. I understand. I don't know. What was it I was talking about? I've forgotten already. I've spoken to various people since then. The frog. Yes. Joe says, I suppose you'll do. You wait till you meet Asher. You're going to love her. Everybody loves Asher. Everybody prefers Asher to me. Apparently, I'm a bit scary. I don't see it myself. I look at myself in the mirror every day and I don't see the scariness. I don't see the big, horrible horns that come out of my head or my big forked tail, or like fangs. I don't think I'm scary. People that have met me, I'm sure I'm not scary. But everybody loves Asha. But when you hear Asha teach, she's hilarious because it sounds like me. Asha is a mini me when she teaches, because she doesn't this is the way you do it, and you don't do it any other way. You wait until she starts teaching you how to take shoes off, or how to notch, or other things. And she's great. She's coming, and she's going to be. You'll never even miss Gary. You'll never even realize Gary's not there. And then you've got Timmy. You've got lovely Timmy, and he's coming to be our support act. You'll never notice Gary's not there. Bonnie Doyle, hi. Not sure what I've missed, but I'll catch up later. I don't know if you've missed much. Charlie Brown's here. Hello, Catherine. Kim says asked about the NPA. Right, I'm gonna go into my Canva. Wait a minute, let me just bring it up. Because I want to draw, although it's not easy to draw on that. But wait a minute. Connecting you callers. Just hold on a moment. Right, I'm just going to share my screen. I love these sessions because I never know what you're going to say. But you know, let me just tell you something before I share my screen. But when you've done this for years, and you know the foot, and you know the trim, and you know that the natural foot is just, it never lies. Oh no, it never ever lies. I love the questions, because I don't think I've ever found a question that I've not heard before. Not that I'm trying to like diss your questions. I love your questions. You've not heard them before. You've not heard the answers before, but I probably have. Right, let me go and share my screen. Right, you ready? Untitled whiteboard. Here, let me put StreamYard over there so that I can see what we're doing. Get rid of that. Go away. Right, we have a whiteboard. Let's draw. I am not going to be able to do the. Oh, come along. What's wrong with you? Oh, there it is. Behave. Right, here we have a foot with a. This is a normal foot. Oh, I'm quite impressed with that. That's actually quite good. You try doing that on a trackpad. Here we have coronary band. Whee! And here we have P3. Yeah, look at that, growing in lovely neck. Oh, I did something with the end then. Slight angle. There, look at that. Beautiful. We've got no separation here. And we've got a little bit of palmar angle in there when the horse fully loads. That's just going to dip down a little bit. I'm going to change my thickness of the 9. That's a bit better. Yeah, so all's looking good in there. And why is it looking good? We even got a little arch here. Why is it looking good? Because we have I don't know why it's going so slow. What's wrong with you? Elon Musk, sort it out. I've got Starlink. We've got great balanced. Wait a minute, let me just turn it let me just turn the foot a minute so I can balance my drawing better. Oh, that'll do. So we've got great balance. Whee! Look at that. We've got good dorsopalmar balance. All is well. Until one day we decide that what we're going to do, because we can't balance. What we're going to do one day is we're going to grow too much toe there. And we're going to do that. Right. Now, hang on a minute. Stay with me a minute. Now, no, I want that. No. Let me take position. Let me bring the line up in the front, because otherwise I'm going to struggle with that. Stop it. Go back down there. Right, there's gone. You know, people should just, if people want to know how to use Canva, they should just watch my lessons, because we use it all the time, don't we? Now our balance is like this. So let us have a look what happens there. Let's just take the balance and rejiggle that balance. Oh, now P3 is not quite in the right position. Should we do that again? Because we come back next time and we just don't know how much toe to leave, because we're not balancing correctly. And then are you starting to see the problem? Let's bring that down and let's rebalance. And let's do it again. Do you see what's happening? Now, this is particularly common. Do you see what's happening with P3? This is particularly common with horses that are low-heeled horses. Now we have P3 going in the other direction. Because what happens when horses are not trimmed correctly to their own natural parameters, and they got sore feet and they're not fed correctly? They get shoes put on them. And oftentimes, in order to get frog ground contact, the farrier putting the shoe on will cut the heels lower than they should be. It's very common, especially on hind feet, and to allow the horse to get good frog contact. But that frog might be overgrown anyway. That does seems to be irrelevant. And the more that they cut that heel, the more this foot goes into, if they're leaving that toe, the more that foot gets into an MPA. And the more that horse's caudal hoof, this area here, the back of the foot, begins to weaken, because it's not, the shoes are doing the job now. And not a very good job. They're not even a great substitute for the amazing hoof mechanism. It's not even a great substitute for that. So this begins to weaken. But even if it didn't weaken, and we had heel that was at the hard sole plane that we haven't cut too short, the way that you deal with an NPA, and let's just draw a little bit more in there, because I've been very generous. So let's just draw. Go away. I do want that. Let me just go that way a bit. The more that we keep doing that and not understanding the dorso-palmar balance, the more that we, and incidentally, what will start to happen now is this. Oh God, I'll do that again. The horse will begin to bullnose. Oops, like that. That's a very typical scenario of an MPA. You get bullnose because we are now feeling that the horse's toe is long. We don't know what to do about it because we think we've balanced, but we haven't. And so consequently, let's come back over here. Our balance has been shifting every single time we've been trimming, and now we're at this scenario. So what would you see P3 changing every time? I don't know what happened to my bullnose there. It just went a bit funny. So all the time we are setting this angle back here. We're going more and it instead of being where it should have been, which is, look at it, look at the original foot, look where it was, look at it, it's way back here. That was the original foot that we had. Now we've got this. Now those people who talk about long toe, low heel, they think this is what we're doing. This is not what we're doing. This is not a balanced foot. This is a foot that has an NPA because it has too much going on here. at the toe. It has too much vertical height here, and not enough in comparison vertical height here at the heels. It's easy to spot when you learn, when you see many hundreds of feet. It's easy to spot, but when you don't, and you don't understand also palmar balance, it's not easy to see. So what do you do, I think, was Kim's question. Well, what you do is find the hard sole plane, because it's in there somewhere, and that hard sole plane will say to you that there's far too much sole at toe wall here. You can't do much about the heel. You have to trim to the hard sole plane at the heel, and sometimes if that heel is not as developed as it should be, you will still get a balanced foot, but you may not have the thickest of soles initially, because the foot is, I'm talking back here, and where the palmar angle is, it's far too close to the ground at the back of the palmar processes than it should be. But either way, the problem that you have when you have P3 poking up in the air like that is that you've created far too much here. So what should you do? You should trim it in a way that, and you do it by finding the HPA. You should trim it in a way that finds the HPA. And then HPA, what the hell am I talking about? HSP. And then, as if by magic, you can come along with your magical raspy rubber and you get rid of all of that. Oh, last bit. Get rid of, I don't know if it's going to let me do it. No, it won't. And you go, look at me. Look what I've just done. I have been able, because I know balance like the back of my hand, because I understand horses' feet and I understand balance. I've been doing it for years. What I've just done then is I've just come along and rebalanced that foot and brought it back to the natural foot. Let's get rid of that. And boop, back to where it should be. And we have just kept the same heel height, but we have reduced vertical toe height without compromising the depth of P3, sole under the depth of under the tip of P3, and putting P3 back into the right position. And that, my friends, is how you fix an MPA, and it is basically the same of how you fix a hyperpositive P3 going the other way. But the the difference is that with an MPA, you aren't going to get separation. But with a hyperpositive P3, you will, because the hoof wall just is being basically torn away from where it should be by the fact that the heels are too high. And only when you know about balance do you know that that is what happens. I hope that helped. I'm going to stop sharing now. Do you all enjoy that? What did you think of that then? Did that help, Kim? Tell me. Do you understand what was going on there? It's all about balance, peeps. It's all about balance. Jeanette says, is bullnose always a sign of a trim problem, or can it be natural to the horse? Sometimes you get deformities that look like bullnoses in the horse's hoof wall because for other reasons, such as scar tissue inside the horse's hoof wall because of often endless poking and prodding, chasing abscesses. So sometimes you get odd deviations that look a bit bullnosy. But in general, bullnosing occurs because of a lack of proper dorsopalmar balance. and too much length and too much rasping at the top of the toe, causing the toe to dip like that. As soon as you start trimming it naturally to the HSP, the bullnosing should disappear. Kim says, that was an excellent NPA lesson. You're welcome. My gelding has low heels and has had damage in the back of the foot before. Yes, but it shouldn't stop you from finding balance. It shouldn't stop you from finding balance. Lydia's here. Hi again. And I am sorry about that. Fiona says, I've started using connecting your callers. Hold on, just connecting you. You did, but you haven't. So well done. Bonsoir. Fiona says, that's going in the spreadsheet. Oh, day 122, Lindsay draws an NPA and how it goes out of balance so easily on her whiteboard. Kim says, I just worry if I'm taking enough toe now, even though I'm down to the HSP. Now you're on the challenges, my lovely. You can send me a photograph and I will respond and do a little response to you. So send me a caudal image of your horse's foot and I will tell you. If you are, if your horse has had his own heel, for you haven't just taken a horse. When we take a horse out of shoes, often the best course of action is just to balance and leave it alone, not to just drag everything down to the HSP straight away. It depends on the foot, what you have in front of you. But many horses that have been in shoes, not all, but many, are weak. Some are cobby feet and they're like, take shoes. I was like, was there a shoe? Literally, cobs go, was there a shoe on the bottom of my horse's on my feet? Was there a shoe on there? I don't feel any different. Oh, except now I feel a little bit more balanced. Whereas thoroughbreds, bless them, and many other horses that are slightly more low-heeled or that have contraction or blah, 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 you take the shoe off and they go, oh, God, my foot. And so people go, put the shoe back on. No, don't do that. Because the very fact that your horse is now crippled is because of what it's been doing and how it's been trimmed and the shoe that's been put on there, poor thing. So you have to give it time. So that's where hoof boots come in. But if your horse has been out of shoes and it's been barefoot, then it'll have the heel that it can best have at this moment in time. But it should not have a toe that pokes above that heel plane. Send me some pictures. He's never had shoes. Well, there you go. He's fine then. So send me some pictures. Angie Medler is here. Hello. Many of my lovely students that join these lives, and are you still here, Louise? Struggle with dorsopalmar balance. It is a thing. You do. And that's where learning to become a pro really helps, of course, because you can't be a pro and go out in the field and not know that. In fact, on the call this evening, we had two pros, two trimmers. And one lovely lady said that she's been trimming since 2004, and she's really only really properly beginning to understand balance from learning from us. And she's been trimming all that time, and she took the challenges. That's how. And another lady that had been trained by other people. That's dedication, and that's understanding that you need to know more. When you are a professional and you know that there are horses' feet out there you just don't understand very well, and they are not getting better, and you know what you've been taught or the many methods that you've listened to are incorrect, you need to, when you read stuff that makes sense and they watch these lives, etc., they then take the challenges. They're pros and they take the challenges and they come out having learnt loads. It's true. It's true. Just don't think you don't need them. You do. he will be 29, is an appendix quarter horse. So I see where the low heels come from. But low, if he's never been shod, then his heels are in the right, are fine. They're not low. They're exactly where they need to be. I mean, we say low-heeled horse, but it's fine. He's got more frog contact. He's got more bulb contact. It's okay. It's him. Don't worry about it. It's good, but make sure that balance is right. He's saying, come on, 29 years old now, Kim, get my balance right. You probably have been. You probably haven't been far off at all. Late to the party, must watch tomorrow. You can. Angela Moore is here. Yes, we do struggle with it, but it's getting better. Angela is a perfect example. Angela is one of our students. Hello. And it's a little bit, not sometimes it's actually a bit nerve-wracking. We had this conversation this evening. You can look down. Well, first of all, you've got to make sure your heels are balanced. That is key. If your heels are slightly rocketed on one side, slightly down on the other, and are doing this and aren't dead balanced, if you have your heels not quite right, then you're not going to get your dorsopalmar balance right. Starts with the heels. If you get them perfectly right, you then got to work out where you're turning your foot. It was a cross between hoof and a foot. If I do foof, I'm sure that means something rude. If you go that way, which way do you go? How far do you go? We talk about that in the 10-day challenge group session too, so that you know exactly where to put the horse's foot. And like Angela, she started and makes you a bit nervous because you get the heels down to that hard sole plane and you're like, seriously? There is quite a bit of toe poking up there at this moment in time. You telling me I got to take all that? Yes. Otherwise, when you put your horse's foot down, back goes the angle. And P3 gets in the wrong position. Okay. Lydia, my standard breds age 29 and 27 have low heels, but easily balanced now with TPW. Low heels, fine. Look, don't panic. People misinterpret low. Let me just go back to my Jennifer's going to be going, I learned this in my lesson a minute ago. We go back to this. I'm quite impressed with that. It's quite good. People misinterpret this because they're looking at it from up here. This is an eyeball. This is eyelashes. This is somebody's eye, and their eyes sticking out on stalks. They're like, oh, it's too low. Oh no, what we need to do is make it higher. Give that horse some heel. Build more heel at the back of the foot. Well, these are the heel bobs. Well, the horn tubules grow in this direction. So when you give that horse more heel, do you think that it's just going to go like this? Do you think that's what's going to happen? And then how do you find balance? What do you do to find balance? Let's just say you did just do that. Wait a minute. Now, just from talking about what we've just been talking about, let's just reorientate that horse's foot to be in the correct, to be on the floor, because that's how he's going to put his foot down. What's just happened to P3? Then we go, don't like this. We'll need to chop it off. Right, let's just go back a minute. Right. Heels, Coke can feet end up being like tubes. So the heels look like they're upright, but that's from years of also chopping off the toe. I'm not going to go into how that works, but what we're talking about is shapes. If you love maths and you like geometry, that's all we're doing is we're playing with shapes. This is geometry. As I have just shown, hang on, I'll come back and do that in a minute. Let's carry this. Lindsay, stay put on one subject at a time, poor people that are watching. So it's too low. Give that horse some more heel. Okay, right. I'm going to draw in more heel as it in the direction that the heel is going, which is actually this way. Now, let's just suppose that they did know roughly how to balance. This doesn't grow down quite the same. And they keep going, and they keep going. Ooh. You get the gist. And they keep going. What's happening to the horse's surface area as they upright that horse's foot? That's even if they can do dorsopalmar balance. They have not just given that horse a lovely big heel. That any heel that is, because horn tubules don't grow straight down. That's not how it works. Look at the coronary band, and the papillae are located like this in the coronary band, right? That's where the horn tubules grow from. Get rid of that one. He's in the wrong position. Oh, no. Right. So that's if they can balance, but usually they can't. So that's not. So you have just given that horse an underrun heel. So the center of rotation, which the whole world talks about with their apps and their lines and their angles, the horse will find that naturally if you balance properly. You don't force it, and you don't try and create it by sticking in wedges and piddling about with the foot until it does what you think it should be doing. No, you don't. You find the horse's true natural foot, and then the horse will be balanced. And I don't care whether you hear people say on the internet that their horse had an MPA and it's had it for life and you can't fix it and you've got to stick a wedge in. Poppycock. Poppycock. You can't balance. You absolutely cannot dorsopalmar balance. It's everywhere. So we have, let's say we are letting this heel grow. It has now gone underrun. So it used to be, let's just take this as an example. That heel used to be all the way back here. Beautiful. Sadly now, it is here. How's your proper balance and center of rotation getting on now? Not good, right? That's not good. This horse has lost a ton of surface area because it used to have quite a bit, and now it's only got this much. Okay? It changes. But that's if they can balance. That's not what normally happens. Let's take a look at what normally happens. So now they think, yay, we've given the horse heel, but they're not balancing properly. And they've underrun. That's called an underrun heel. And now what they're doing is they're giving the horse heel, but they're taking off toe. And they give the horse a bit more heel, and they take off toe. And they give the horse a bit more heel, and they take off toe. And then what do you end up with? Shall we have a look? This is so simple. Like I said, it's simple, but it's just shapes. It's just geometry. What have we just ended up with? What is that? A Coke can foot. Do you see how that got there? And then what we do is we go, I hope that all of you are watching now going, oh my God, yes. Where's P3? Well, now we've got P3 in this position, and we don't know what the hell's going on with the heels. We've got an inverted coronary band. And so now we are going to take more of this off. Just keep doing that. I'll just keep doing that. I'll just keep taking more and more and more and more of this off. And then what happens is you've not changed the heel. It stays the same. And all the sole pressure now goes straight through to here. And then this little jigger dies. And dies. And dies. And we keep taking off more and more and more and more. All because We wanted to upright those heels, or we didn't quite understand the HSP. So what we do is we come along and we go, we come along and we know what's going on here, and we go, boop, boop. We'll get it to that position pretty much straight away. I will probably get it, Gary and I would probably get it straight back in one trim, but let's just say we got it there. That's a massive relief for that horse. And then we come along and we go, boop, boop. We get rid of that bit of compaction, and then we reorientate. And then P3 starts to find its way. Only problem is that this horse has been in that position for so long that it has a ton of separation now on the toe. Because I'm in my own little world here. I don't even know if you're still there. Are you still there? You are still there. I'm so in my own little world. I do this all day long. I play. So now we've got a foot that's doing this. And in some instances, we've got a foot that's doing this. But we're balanced. People don't understand what we're doing. We're balanced. And they think, oh, this is terrible. We need to chop it off. So they come along and they chop it off. Then where have we just put the pressure? Right there. What's right there? P3, which is already compromised or going that way. Ignore it. Be brave. Learn how to balance. That horse would much rather have a far bigger surface area than a tiny one that you've now just created because you don't like the look of the long toe. We have not got an NPA. We have not got a low heel, long toe scenario in that respect, which is what they are talking about. We have got a balanced surface area, a balanced footprint for the horse to stand on, and he does not care that this is out there at all, because all he cares about is P3 being in the right position, because that is paramount. And if this is going up and away, when we have the heels stabilized pretty much, and we've got a big bit of wedge in play here, and toe wall's never going to make it to the ground because that horse is going up like that, rather, isn't it? It's not, this bit isn't on the ground here. And because it's lost so much of P3. I mean, this is a very basic, you understand that I'm doing here. It's very basic diagram to please don't. It's basic. It's not, might not be quite as long as that. But just for illustration purposes, you understand. Then when this is stabilized and we know we're never going to get that toe wall on the ground, then we can address this, but only if it is going up to the sky, never as it is just too short coming down here. You don't chop into it even more. Every time you take toe wall away that's heading towards the ground like this, you have just shortened the vertical height, dropped the horse here because you've now put it on this instead of this, changed the angle of P3, lost your balance point, and before you know it, you've just taken 6 months growth off that horse's toe. And this heel has no counterpoint. And away we go again. And it can happen in a bloomin' heartbeat. Boom. Back to Coke can. It's just geometry. It's just shapes, people. It's just underneath, understanding all of those shapes. So what we need is that lovely, lovely, hello, lovely, lovely foot. And we need to stop. We need to come and stop people going, oh my God, look at the state of the heels, and we need to get rid of them and go away, go away. You don't know what you're talking about. And we need to put a great big massive cross over them and say, if you are looking at the horse's foot from above without picking it up from below, do not even talk to me about my horse's foot, because you don't know what you're talking about. Pick it up and say, where's the hard sole playing, and see what they do. And then they will skedaddle like fast runners, and they will run in the opposite direction, so far away from you, because they don't know what the bloody hell they're talking about. Thereth end the lesson, children. Do you enjoy that? Go and look at geometry. Take a bit of that. Fiona says, Coke cans. Oh my gosh, so good. Great live. It's all right. Fiona's written it down. But people say, what about NPA? Day 122. What about Coke cans? Day 122. What about low heel? Day 122. Fiona says, seen this in practice with 4 little ones just in my small circle. It's so common. How can they think that's correct? Because they can't balance. They don't know what they're doing. And the world will tell you that I'm saying it's rubbish, but you've seen it for your own eyes. You've seen them come into the Phoenix group. You've seen those degenerated P3s. It's actually very basic. It's just basic, but it's all because they're not following the HSP. They're guessing where they need to put the heels. They're guessing about breakover, so or breakover becomes so they chop the toe off, take the toe wall away, take the pillar of support away, take their balance point away, and it all goes to hell in a handbasket. And that's why we have such a shit show in the world. And you guys, you people that watch this regularly and understand and have stuck around long enough, you now know. And the world will begin to change because of it. For reference, keywords for this one are NPA, Coke can, low heel, and balance. Well done. Well done. Thank you. You're a Cosset librarian. Not a mining engineer. You're a Cosset librarian. Great live, Lindsay. Thank you so much. Right, I'm going to go because it's 20 past 10 my time, and I've been on an hour now. You've had enough of me today. Those poor people that have had me far too much today, sick of me. I need to go and sit down in front of the television and chill out and have something to eat. I love you all. I love you all. Did you see that we'd reached, did I say it already? 29,000 followers. Nearly 11,000 on the Phoenix group. It's all because of you. I love you. Bye. Bye. You're welcome. I'll see you tomorrow for the mini live challenge at normal time of 6 o'clock UK, 1 o'clock ET, and whatever time that is, Stella, in the rest of the world and everybody else. Love ya. See ya. Speak to you tomorrow. Bye.